Friends, I'm Dr. Shahid, as usual, communicating to you and sharing ABC, whatever I have, and answering to questions. Some of my friends, from psychology field, has asked me various questions that, yeah, I have expressed so much about importance of sex and its implication in our day-to-day life and how it has a effect in various kind of abnormalities in mankind based on the cultural and variant aspect of human nature. They have asked me, can I narrate to them that what is the difference between Freud concept of sex and I may say Islamic concept of sex? You know, it is a long and very detailed kind of study, but I have just noted some of the points to share with you. Basically, if you see the Islamic knowledge is based about 1450 years ago in the Quran, and if you go further in the it goes with the various kind of holy books. So it is a very uh, deep and long and old concept which Creator has mentioned about the mankind, just to give an insight. And in that respect, there are various kind of aspects which I will narrate with you. In order to compare with the Western psychology, there are various kind of school of thoughts. And if you go in their history, I will just touch the main things. And the Greek psychology was the base and very strong kind of psychology in which they say psychology is a science of soul, and we should study the soul or spirit. And they psychology was a part of philosophy. So it was narrated with ethics, with logic, with philosophy and psychology, and they see a comprehensive picture of human being. Nowadays, with the passage of time, when the psychology just developed, now we have uh, concentrated only with the word psychology, and then you see various concepts have come: psychology of consciousness, or psychology of mind, or and then psychology of human behavior. They see human being from various aspects, and we should not forget in that respect the Piaget concept also that human being is a rational being, and on the other hand, behaviorism based on the learning principle, and they take it and they take its base as animal. So various school of thoughts are describing the human behavior, human mental functioning from various kind of uh, aspect with the passage of time. So uh, I will just go back to the period of Freud. Who was Freud, and what was his main contribution? Freud was basically he was Jew, and his knowledge is based on his self-analysis and the cases that came to him, particularly about hysteria and other kind of thing. From there, he developed a school of thoughts, very important, very strong school of thoughts called psychoanalysis. He's the founder of psychoanalysis, and he introduced his influential kind of theories, which is taken one way or the other with the passage of time, although it has changed, still it is applied. He came with the concept of consciousness, subconscious, unconscious. Then he came about the psyche. Psyche described into id, ego, and superego. You all people know about it. Then he emphasized on the dream interpretation, and then he also mentioned the psychosexual stages of development, uh, which influence in human personality and other kind of thing. The main concept, which I will say is somewhat close to the Islamic concept, was the psyche. He said, id, ego, superego, and I will discuss with you what is nafs. Nafs means psyche, and nafse amara, nafse lawama, nafse mutmainna, and nafse amara like id, and nafse loama like ego, and nafse mutmainna like superego. these things he has described, and in that respect. Moreover, he described about the dream and its interpretation. If you go into the Quran, you will see as a Yusuf, he was well known and he was trained and taught about the dream analysis, due to which he present various kind of solution to the people and the king who just accept him. So if you see the Islamic, as I told you, concept started uh, before more than 14, 50 years ago. But Freud, he was born in 1838 and died in 1939. And he, in this period, we may say that about 200 or 300 years back, his theory is based on this one. So you can see the human theory has developed with the passage of time, but the Quranic knowledge is based on the Muslim psychology based on the Quran, and that is the Quranic psychology. So, according to Freud, he says that eight impulses are very important. If we repress them, and then they develop various kind of problem and mental disease are based on that one. So he says that we defend, and then the mankind, in order to save himself, he developed various kind of defense mechanism. I'm talking all these are clinical things. Maybe other people may not like it, but one must know the psyche is very important in psychology. I mean, in all kind of treatment, psychotherapy, clinical psychology, and other kind of various kind of thoughts, because he has very kind of uh, uh, people who followed his these theories. Then he was the eighth child, and he has some childhood problem also. Then he treated various kind of clients who are having hysteria and other kind of thing. And he was basically neurologist, and he explored that when the person is in a problem, he is fixed, and he regressed to the early stages because he did not develop. So he stayed in that respect, and mind is blocked, and the people is having a problem, and their unconscious blocked, and it is relieved. They say unconscious is very important in man humankind life. So these are the basic concept he said, and his theory is based that mankind is by nature bad. Mean he is overwhelmed with sex, and sex is important in all the stages of human development, anal, oral, and infantile, all kind of those stages. He see everything from sexual point of view, and he has a, I may say, very kind of simple and dream interpretation. Now let us come to the other side. You know, if you come in the Islam, Islam says basically human being is a good. He has given a rationality because God created him. He's a power to explore, and he has curiosity to learn and do these things. But still, he is sometimes controlled by the id impulses, and then he loses his control, his logic, his ego, and so. It is a reality principle. Then the God said how to control the mankind, and so the whole Quran is called psychology of human nature. It gives you what is mankind, how it was originated, what is his weaknesses, what is his positive point, and how he should be developed in the positive way if he is struck in some kind of extremity. Extremity means abnormality. So in Islam, it says that mankind, child is innocent, is good. It is the environment which polish that person. So the problem is with this one that during his stages of development, when he is developing, his ego is not given proper knowledge, attention, and he is not disciplined. So therefore, what the parent job is and our job is that we should provide him a knowledge and discipline, and that's the reason why all presentations are this: how, in what way children are trained and taught in Islam to have a disciplined life, and they should not indulge in the very early stages in sex and other kind of thing. So its importance is well known. You see, if you see the very first murder after Adam, when he was unable to control his sense, his id impulses, or he may say his nafs ammara was so strong, he forgot the order of God, and he disobeyed. So he was thrown out of paradise. And the very first murder which happened between Habil and Kabil was based on the sex. You understand how much sex is important. That is the reason lot of knowledge is based on how we should train our children, what are the rights of the woman, and women are weak, how we should support them, how we should have a family unit, how we should have a balanced kind of society. It should not be a vulgar society. It should have some discipline, and the discipline should be one should support each other, and the life is to cooperate and help each other. So, in this way, if you further study from the, I may say, um, these Muslim point of view, in Muslim, there came various kind of psychologists. In the very beginning, two or three I will mention because I cannot go in detail and explain everything with you. These were in 1865 to 925. Al-Razi was the first known psychologist scholar. He talked about the nafs, what is mankind, how we should treat them, how we should it applied in practical life. And then he went and studied the Quran and came to know the things which I have mentioned to you. Nafs, what is nafs? Nafs mean human self. It may be called it as a ruh. Ruh mean his inner power, and he and that power is his life, and he has senses. If if he is overwhelmed with the senses, then he get involved in dirty kind of things. But those people who are organized and they have a patience, then they are able to control the thing, and they are more close to the God. They have a nafs mutmainna. They are very contented people. Worldly luxury doesn't affect on them. They think and see everything from the rational point of view, and pass the life according to these things. And they study the Quran also. Those people who disobeyed these things, what were the result of those people? What was their end result? So in this respect, then I say, then Ibn Sina, he also did a great job, and they cure nafs, and they have Islamic psychology, and then they and they say that in psychology, those who are mentally sick, they are called majnoon. Majnoon mean they're psychologically sick. They cannot control their senses. So these things are described in the Quran in various kind of form. So I will quote also one of the very simple kind of surah to see that when a person do not listen to the reality, and he's become selfish, he becomes self-centered, he become, uh, I say, narcissistic, or he become aggressive, he become extremist, and he leaves the normal situation, then he becomes sick. So these disorders are there, and I can't go at this time to give you more detail. Then after that, when the after Greek period, then the Muslim period, then the knowledge shifted to the, I may say, Britain, and then from Britain to Germany, and Germany to USA. So this is the way you will see the various kind of psychologists came with their thoughts and these kind of things. So in the end, what my main question was that how we can compare the sexual diseases with the Freud concept. Freud, he was no doubt, he was very genius, very remarkable founder of psychoanalysis. Even now, although people have changed, because keep in mind one thing, that why Freud came with these things in the period before World War First was the people are very orthodox, very religious, and the church has a control, and the Greek, I may say, Jews have the control. So and the people are very religious. So sometimes in religion, the people repress the feeling in place of resolving these things, so they got various kind of diseases. So people repress their impulses, their sexual needs, and they develop various kind of diseases. And most common was hysteria, forgetting, and other kind of thing. So we treated those things. So keep in mind that sex is important. In Quran, it is very important, but Quran gives us the solution as a whole, because Quran is a book which was sent to the Buddhas who were illiterate, and it is so rich knowledge in all the human nature, that how we should bring up the children, how they should develop personality, what is the role of the parent, how they should be, children should be involved in the games and sports and other things, how they should have a control on self, have fasting, how they should obey their parents, and they should not be exposed to the sex, and so that they should not be excited, and they should remain within their control, and they should invest that energy in, I may say, teenage toward productivity. So sex is important, no doubt, and all these diseases which we see. And now just compare on the last point, where the West has gone. So where the hysteria has gone, where all other diseases are gone. So the diseases are based on the circumstances. If the culture is very orthodox, very strict, then you will see such kind of thing. Same was in the Eastern countries. Same was in the Muslim countries. After the when they left the real path and they become dual character, they preach a lot of things and they are doing different kind of things. So they have a confused kind of personality, various kind of I mean, a concept came, say the jinn, a hysterical patient were treated in the a different way, which was not according to Islam. But now, if you see, at this moment, these Eastern countries, they have freedom. Media has given them all kind of freedom. No, no, there are no more such kind of hysterical patient or this kind of patient. Now there are different kind of patient which are dealing with the depends on the media. I mean, temptation for money, and individuality, loss of human bond, understanding, respect, care, feeling of belongingness, and warmth and understanding. This is missing. So, like West Eastern people are also turning toward this side, and now the diseases style is different. Now it is based on your pattern of life, what is social circumstances, how the society is going, what are the temptation in the society. So the brain and the id impulses, or I may say nafse amara, turn toward that thing. But ultimately, it goes to that direction. Have enjoy fun and have luxuries, and sex is very important. Some are they get involved in physical relation. Some are love, some are this and that. In short, my main purpose to present this thing is this, that God has sent the human nature, and creator knows better than the creature, than the creature itself, seeing the circumstances, develops that psyche to know what is the human nature, and then they came various kind of solution and treatments. Psychoanalysis. Psychoanalysis is so much important. All the projective tests and other kind of things, they still apply these psychoanalytical methods. And in short, what I wish to say, if we know the human nature, if the parent involved with the children, they give them a rational knowledge, and they expose the realities of life, and they prepare them for the life, and they should get married within time according to their I mean say interest, and then they need not to worry about sex and this kind of thing. So this is very important phenomena. Sex is related with the marriage, marriage is related with the children, children related with the society, and society related with the future of a country. So, in short, I would say that Freud came just 300 years back with this concept, but the Quran has given 1450 years ago this psychology of human nature, and it is written everything. And in the end, I will say those people who get involved in the research and have fun and pleasure in the sex. They went to such an extremity, even in the old nations, Qawm-e Lut, that they were involved in homosexuality. So that nation was destroyed. So you will see in my next program, very short segment, what is Lut, how they were having wife and everything, but they were involved with the homosexuality, and what was the end result of it, because abnormality is abnormality. Okay, thank you very much for your precious time, and I hope my your question is clear that where Islam's stand in sex.
يقول آمنا بالله وباليوم الآخر وما هم بمؤمنين.
And of the people are some who say, we believe in Allah and the last day, but they are not believers.
يخادعون الله والذين آمنوا وما يخدعون إلا أنفسهم وما يشعرون.
They think to deceive Allah and those who believe, but they deceive not except themselves and perceive it not.
في قلوبهم مرض فزادهم الله مرضا ولهم عذاب أليم بما كانوا يكذبون.
In their hearts is disease, so Allah has increased their disease. And for them is a painful punishment because they habitually used to lie.
وإذا قيل لهم لا تفسدوا في الأرض قالوا إنما نحن مصلحون.
And when it is said to them, do not cause corruption on the earth, they say, we are but reformers.
ألا إنهم هم المفسدون ولكن لا يشعرون.
Unquestionably, it is they who are the corrupters, but they perceive it not.
وإذا قيل لهم آمنوا كما آمن الناس قالوا أنؤمن كما آمن السفهاء ألا إنهم هم السفهاء ولكن لا يعلمون.
And when it is said to them, believe as the people have believed, they say, should we believe as the foolish have believed? Unquestionably, it is they who are the foolish, but they know it not.
وإذا لقوا الذين آمنوا قالوا آمنا وإذا خلوا إلى شياطينهم قالوا إنا معكم إنما نحن مستهزئون.
And when they meet those who believe, they say, we believe. But when they are alone with their evil ones, they say, indeed, we are with you. We were only mockers.
الله يستهزئ بهم ويمدهم في طغيانهم يعمهون.
But Allah mocks them and prolongs them in their transgression while they wander blindly.
أولئك الذين اشتروا الضلالة بالهدى فما ربحت تجارتهم وما كانوا مهتدين.
Those are the ones who have purchased error in exchange for guidance, so their transaction has brought no profit, nor were they guided.
مثلهم كمثل الذي استوقد نارا فلما أضاءت ما حوله ذهب الله بنورهم وتركهم في ظلمات لا يبصرون.
Their example is that of one who kindled a fire, but when it illuminated what was around him, Allah took away their light and left them in darkness so they could not see.